Chile. This Braxton family secret just blew up and Tamar is done staying quiet. In a shocking turn of events, private DNA documents linked to Ashlee Braxton, long believed to be the daughter of a distant cousin, were leaked to the press, and the source? None other than Towanda Braxton herself. But what the documents allegedly reveal has shaken the family to its core. Tamar Braxton is listed as the biological mother. Fans are in disbelief, timelines ain't adding up, and Tamar? She's spiraling on social media with a fiery trail of cryptic posts, deleted tweets, and one live that nearly broke Instagram. But here's where it gets twisted, insiders say. Tamar never agreed to reveal the truth, and Towanda leaked the DNA reports intentionally after a heated family fallout. Now the Braxton sisters are more divided than ever, with Evelyn reportedly refusing to comment, and Trina demanding answers. This isn't just family tea, this is a scandal that threatens the entire Braxton brand. Did Tamar really carry Ashlee in secret? Was the family hiding the truth for years? And why is Towanda exposing it now? Buckle up, because what's coming next will leave your jaw on the floor. It started with a whisper but exploded into a family-shattering truth bomb when Towanda hit send. No one expected Ashlee's name to trend that morning. No one was even checking for the Braxtons lately. But within minutes, the blogs were flooded with a leaked DNA document, and the name that sat at the top of the maternity line wasn't Towanda, wasn't Evelyn, and definitely wasn't a distant cousin. It was Tamar Braxton. Suddenly, everything fans thought they knew about the Braxton legacy was in question. What made it worse? The leak didn't come from a random ex-employee or some anonymous cousin. No, it came straight from Towanda herself, who posted the image to her private close friend's Instagram story, forgetting that one of those friends was quick with a screenshot and sold it to a gossip blog for $7,000. The image? A full-page DNA report allegedly proving Tamar is Ashlee's biological mother, with a 99.997% match stamped in the corner. And then, all hell broke loose. Tamar, who had been MIA on socials for a minute, came back with a vengeance. She hit Twitter, now X, with a firestorm of tweets, each one more heated than the last. "Y'all not gon' keep playin' with me like I'm some storyline. I birthed careers, not children. Don't get it twisted. You leak my truth, I'll leak yours, sweetheart." Deleted within the hour, but not before every gossip page screen grabbed and reposted them with captions like, "Tamar snaps after Towanda exposes DNA truth," and "Did Tamar hide a pregnancy from the world?" The timeline got chaotic instantly. Half the fans were shocked. Some said they always felt something was off about Ashlee's mystery mom narrative, and others were defending Tamar like, if she kept it quiet, maybe it was to protect the child. But it wasn't just the fans scrambling, the whole Braxton family was spinning. Sources close to Trina say she called a family emergency Zoom that same night, begging everyone to get it together before we get cancelled. But Tamar refused to attend, allegedly texting the group chat, "Y'all let this happen. Y'all been new. Don't act brand new now." Meanwhile, Evelyn, usually quick to speak on family matters, was silent. That silence spoke volumes. It was giving cover-up. It was giving, "we made her hide the baby" energy. Rumors began swirling that the pregnancy happened back in the early 2000s during one of Tamar's dark periods, and that Evelyn and Towanda allegedly helped relocate the baby to another branch of the family to avoid flighted scandal. Why? Because at the time, Tamar was still chasing the early stages of fame. A baby would have ruined the image. It was a different time. And, according to sources, the Braxtons believed burying the truth was better than breaking the family's media momentum. But now that the truth is out, Tamar's the one left to clean up the blood spilled by someone else's blade. Ashlee, for her part, hasn't made a public statement, but close friends say she's devastated, especially since she found out at the same time the world did. Up until now, Ashlee was told her biological mother was someone who gave her up for better opportunities, not that the woman she called Auntie Tamar her whole life was her mother. Imagine the betrayal. Towanda, when confronted by fans, didn't deny the leak. Instead, she posted a cryptic message to her IG stories. Sometimes the truth is the only way to set a soul free. But whose soul was she setting free? Ashlee's? Or her own twisted revenge mission against Tamar? Because let's be real, the Braxton sisters have been throwing shade at each other for years. But this was nuclear. Tamar had always suspected Towanda had a chip on her shoulder, jealousy, resentment, silent competition. But no one expected her to be the one to air out a secret that could destroy what little was left of their family bond. Now, everyone's scrambling. BET reportedly halted early talks for a Braxton reboot series. Lawyers are being consulted, PR teams are being hired. And Tamar? She's threatening to file a defamation and emotional distress lawsuit unless the story is corrected, even though the documents appear real. At the end of the day, the only question that matters is, why now? Why would Towanda leak this? And what does she gain from unraveling Tamar's biggest secret in front of the world? Tamar wasn't just angry, she was betrayed in a way only family could manage. The kind of betrayal that doesn't come from strangers or even enemies. It comes from blood, from people who knew your silence, understood your pain, and weaponized it anyway. And in that moment, Tamar realized this wasn't just about Ashlee's DNA, it was about the systemic silencing she'd endured her entire life. Behind the scenes, the story was even darker than fans imagined. According to a source close to Tamar's inner circle, Towanda had been holding on to the DNA truth for years, and only leaked it after Tamar allegedly threatened to pull out of a secret family project that Towanda desperately needed to sell. That project? A memoir/docuseries on Braxton family secrets, and Tamar wasn't having it. She didn't want her trauma turned into content unless she controlled it. But Towanda, fed up with what she called Tamar's diva delays, went rogue. That's when she allegedly dropped the DNA bomb to force Tamar's hand. Either Tamar joins the project and tells the story her way, or Towanda would let the world fill in the blanks. But Tamar didn't fold, she exploded. Behind closed doors, chaos erupted. Tracy's widower Kevin was pulled into the madness after leaked audio captured him on the phone with a Braxton cousin, saying, "That girl don't deserve this. Ashlee been asking questions for years and now she gotta read it on a blog?" In the same call, he hinted at a long-buried agreement between Evelyn and Towanda, allegedly crafted in 2004, to shield Tamar's image during peak promo. The agreement allegedly promised that Ashlee's true maternity would remain protected unless explicitly stated otherwise by the parties involved. In other words, Towanda broke a pact. And Tamar? She was unraveling. Her IG live 2 nights later was raw, emotional, and nearly impossible to watch without feeling her pain. No makeup, no filters, just Tamar, sobbing through tears, and saying, "You think you know what it's like to love somebody you can't tell the truth to? You think you know what it's like to watch them grow up calling you auntie when you gave birth to them? Y'all don't know what that silence cost me." It was the first time she almost confirmed the rumor, and that almost was more than enough. Fans flooded her comments with support, rage, and heartbreak. Hashtags exploded across platforms. Number, protect Ashlee. Number, Tamar speaks. Number, Towanda you wrong. And the most damning one? Number, Evelyn knew. Because fans knew there was no way Evelyn wasn't involved in orchestrating the silence. Mama Braxton had always played matriarch and manager, and now the receipts were pointing straight to her. Word began spreading that Evelyn allegedly signed hospital papers in place of Tamar after the birth, registering the child under a different maternal identity altogether. If that was true, the scandal was deeper than any DNA report. It was an identity suppression, one that Ashlee would never recover from emotionally. Meanwhile, Ashlee's silence was deafening. While Tamar and Towanda battled in the public square, the girl caught in the middle remained out of sight. But according to close friends, she was devastated. Ashlee allegedly broke down after seeing the documents online, telling a friend, "Everything I thought I knew is a lie. And nobody told me, not even her." Even worse, Ashlee reportedly tried to call Tamar the night of the leak and got no answer. Her message was short but gut-wrenching. Were you ever gonna tell me? That message allegedly remains unanswered. And now, the Braxtons are in full collapse. Tony, the family's biggest star, and often the voice of "let's not do this publicly," stayed completely silent. Not a tweet. Not a post. Sources say she's furious with both sisters, angry at Towanda for the leak and disappointed in Tamar for never telling Ashlee herself. But more than anything, she's terrified the brand is beyond repair. Because let's be real, what do you do when your family legacy is built on love and unity, but you've hidden something this dark, this long? As the dust began to settle, new cracks started forming, and this time, the damage was generational. Tamar's silence following her emotional livestream wasn't peace, it was tension. Everyone close to her knew it. She'd gone completely radio silent, not even responding to her management team. According to one insider, she locked herself away for days and stopped answering even Tony's calls. She's not just mad, the source shared. She's shattered. Meanwhile, Towanda doubled down. In a now-deleted post, she hinted that Tamar's silence was proof of guilt. The truth don't need defending. If the shoe fits, lace it up. That one line sent the internet into a frenzy. Not only did it suggest Towanda had no regrets about the leak, it also confirmed she was prepared to ride this wave of exposure, no matter who drowned in the process. But then the real bomb dropped. Ashlee broke her silence. In a soft-spoken, tear-filled Instagram live, Ashlee appeared holding a piece of paper, the same DNA document the world had already seen. Her voice trembled as she said, "I didn't ask to be born into this. I didn't ask to be hidden. I didn't ask to be a secret. But I guess I was." She didn't say Tamar's name. She didn't scream or accuse. She didn't have to. Her pain was pure and raw. Every sentence hit like a gut punch to millions watching. "All I wanted was the truth. And I had to find out with the rest of the world." The comments poured in. Blue checks, fan pages, celebrities all expressing support. But some were furious. Not at Ashlee, but at the adults around her. One comment summed it up perfectly. "This is why family secrets destroy souls. Because the child is always the last to know." Tamar watched that live in real time. Sources say she was screaming, crying, and pacing, completely unprepared for Ashlee to step into the spotlight. Not because she didn't want her to speak, but because Tamar had always believed she would be the one to tell her. That chance was now gone. What made matters worse? Evelyn still hadn't spoken publicly. Not a post, not a quote. Her silence had gone from protective to complicit. Bloggers started digging, and one even leaked a photo from the early 2000s showing Evelyn leaving a prenatal appointment, not hers, but allegedly Tamar's. That one image set off a wave of theories. Fans began piecing together timelines, old interviews, and shady soundbites that never quite made sense, until now. Some remembered a moment from Braxton Family Values, where Tamar broke down in a therapy session and said, "I gave too much of myself away. And nobody even asked why." At the time it felt vague. Now, it read like a confession hiding in plain sight. Trina finally broke the silence, and she did not hold back. In an emotionally charged interview with a popular podcast, she said, "This wasn't how it was supposed to come out." Tamar deserved to tell her own story. And Ashlee deserved to hear it from her mother, not Twitter. She went on to say that the family had known bits and pieces of the truth for years, but that Evelyn and Towanda led the charge in managing the narrative. It was the first public confirmation that this wasn't just a sisterhood betrayal, it was a coordinated cover-up. And at the center of it all was a girl who just wanted to know where she came from. Legal threats began flying. Tamar's lawyers issued cease and desist letters to multiple blogs, demanding they remove the leaked document, claiming it was doctored and illegally obtained. But sources say the document was very real, and if Tamar took it to court, she'd be opening the door for the entire truth to be subpoenaed. That's the last thing she wanted. But it might be the only way to take control of the narrative again. The Braxtons didn't just lose control of the narrative, they lost control of each other. In the days following Ashlee's gut-wrenching livestream, the entire family fractured in full view of the public. Once known for their soulful harmony and unbreakable sisterhood, they now resembled a war zone with no rules, no alliances, and no trust. And while fans begged for someone to step in and make it right, it became obvious there were no peacemakers left. Towanda continued her scorched earth campaign by sitting down for an exclusive interview with a messy podcast host who asked the one question no one dared to publicly utter: why would you leak something so personal about your own sister? Towanda, with a cold stare and unbothered tone, responded, "Because someone had to tell Ashlee the truth, and if Tamar won't, I will. I'm not here to protect her secrets anymore." She claimed that Tamar had every opportunity to sit Ashlee down and explain the truth in private. Instead, she allowed years to pass, birthdays to be missed, and relationships to be built on lies. At some point, Towanda said, secrets become cruelty. But while that might have sounded noble to some, others saw it for what it was: retaliation masked as righteousness. Bloggers began digging deeper, uncovering old tweets, deleted Facebook posts, and even backstage audio from a Braxton show that caught Tamar and Towanda in a screaming match, with Tamar yelling, "You always hated that I was the one they chose." The audio, now viral, painted Towanda in a very different light, one of a woman consumed by years of resentment, watching from the sidelines while her younger sister dominated the spotlight. Was this really about Ashlee's truth? Or a personal vendetta finally boiling over? And where was Evelyn in all this? Still silent, but not for long. After mounting public pressure, Evelyn Braxton released a tightly worded statement through a PR firm. "As a mother, I made difficult decisions to protect my daughters. While I regret the pain caused, I acted with love, not malice." She didn't confirm or deny the DNA results. She didn't address the rumors about hospital paperwork. She simply called for privacy and healing, the same two things her family no longer had access to. The public response was swift. So she knew. She let Tamar carry this pain alone. "You didn't protect her, you silenced her." Fans had officially turned on the entire Braxton machine. Tamar was the only one receiving grace, but it was fragile, slipping with every new leak, every exposed message, every unearthed clip. People sympathized with her pain, yes. But they also started asking why she didn't speak up sooner. Why she let Ashlee walk through life without the truth. Even Ashlee's biological father, whose identity had never been confirmed publicly, became a trending topic. Though unverified, rumors swirled that he was an industry executive Tamar had a brief relationship with before her first album dropped. That relationship, allegedly hidden due to power dynamics and scandal potential, only added fuel to the theory that Ashlee's conception wasn't just secret, it was dangerous. And now, whispers of a Netflix docuseries began swirling. One insider claimed a streaming platform had offered Tamar a six-figure deal to tell her side of the story, unfiltered, raw, and uninterrupted. The working title? Braxton, the child I couldn't claim. No one knew if she'd accept, no one knew if she had it in her. But what was clear was this. The truth had already cost her everything. Tamar never wanted to become a villain in her own redemption arc, but that's exactly what the headlines were turning her into. She was no longer the victim of a calculated betrayal, she was now being painted as the architect of silence. A woman who held the key to a truth that could have changed a young girl's life, and chose not to use it. And that realization was eating her alive. Despite her legal team's advice, Tamar made a surprise appearance on the Real Talk reboot, where she had once been a co-host. Sitting in front of a stripped-down set, no glam team, no teleprompter, she looked directly into the camera and said, "Yes, I'm her mother." A full 3-second pause followed one that felt like an eternity. "I carried her. I birthed her. I loved her from a distance because I thought I had to. Because I was told it was the best thing for everyone. But not a day went by that I didn't feel her absence like a scar under my skin." It was the confession fans had been waiting for, but it came with more pain than they were ready for. Tamar explained that the pregnancy happened when she was only 23, during a chaotic time in her life, when she was battling mental health struggles, music industry predators, and a complicated relationship with a much older man who didn't want the baby publicly acknowledged. Her voice cracked as she added, "I wanted to keep her, but the people around me, the people I trusted, told me it would ruin everything. They said no label would touch me, that I was disposable if I didn't play the game." She never mentioned Evelyn by name. She didn't have to. The camera cut away only once to show the stunned faces of the hosts. One of them had tears in their eyes. The other sat in stunned silence. Tamar finished by saying, "Ashlee, if you're watching, I'm so sorry. You didn't deserve this. You didn't deserve any of this." The clip shattered the internet. Millions reposted it within hours. Celebrities rallied behind her. Cardi B tweeted, "This world be making mamas feel like they gotta lie to survive. Tamar ain't perfect but she real." But the support was not universal. Towanda fired back the same night with a savage IG story. "Now that you told your truth, maybe you'll stop hiding from the whole truth." And with that line, the internet started buzzing again. What was Towanda hinting at now? That there was more to the story? Or that Tamar's version still left out key details? By the next day, 2 new leaks surfaced. One was a handwritten letter from Tamar to Evelyn, dated 2003, where she begged her mother to help me keep my baby without losing everything. The letter was emotional, desperate, and brutally honest. "I'm scared I'll lose my career. I'm scared I'll lose my mind. But I can't lose my baby." The second leak? Even more damning, a voicemail Evelyn allegedly left for Towanda 2 weeks before the DNA documents were exposed. "If she's not going to say it, you might have to. This family can't live in lies anymore. Let it out if you have to." It confirmed what fans had feared all along. Evelyn knew. She always knew. And she may have been the one who nudged Towanda into finally revealing the truth. The Braxton empire was now in ashes. All the shows, all the appearances, all the sisterly brunches and panel talks about Black excellence and family unity, gone. Burned away by secrets that had festered for 2 decades. And in the center of it all, a young woman named Ashlee, who had every right to hate the people who claimed to love her most. Ashlee's world had shattered long before the headlines caught up, but now, so had Tamar's. That final moment on the Real Talk reboot didn't bring closure. It cracked open decades of trauma that could no longer be swept under the Braxton rug. For the first time, the truth wasn't in Evelyn's hands. It wasn't a VH1 edit. It wasn't a whispered rumor between cousins. It was Tamar's voice, Ashlee's tears, and a world watching every second of it unfold in real time. The fallout was swift and brutal. Every family brand deal was put on hold. Networks distanced themselves. BET quietly removed Braxton family values from its streaming carousel. Gospel circuits that once welcomed Tamar's inspirational comeback journey now questioned her silence. Churches, bloggers, parenting groups, they all had opinions. Everyone either had a theory, or worse, a judgment. But what no one seemed to fully grasp was this. Tamar didn't lie out of malice. She lied out of survival. In a follow-up interview, Tamar shared how she carried the weight of her secret during her most vulnerable years. "I was told I was too emotional, that I was unstable, that I was hard to love. And here I was, about to be a mother alone, afraid, and blackballed before I even got my shot. So when my family said, 'Let us handle this,' I let them." Her voice broke again, not from drama, but from a kind of exhaustion only trauma survivors understand. "I never stopped loving Ashlee. I just didn't know how to protect her and protect myself at the same time." By then, the conversation had shifted. Fans were no longer debating whether Tamar was wrong. They were demanding to know how Towanda and Evelyn lived with themselves. Evelyn especially came under fire for what many saw as orchestrating a forced separation of mother and child in favor of preserving Tamar's marketability. The bigger question, though, became, where does Ashlee go from here? Reports confirmed she had moved out of the shared Atlanta home with her guardians and was staying with a close friend. She had stopped answering media requests. Her Instagram went private. All signs pointed to a young woman completely overwhelmed by betrayal, not from strangers, but from every adult who told her they loved her. In the final twist, it was Tony Long Silent who appeared on Instagram Live and said just one sentence before cutting off, "Y'all turned family into fiction, and truth into trauma." And with that, the Braxtons as we knew them, the beautiful, broken, brilliant sisters who rose and fell on reality TV, were gone. Ashlee's identity was no longer a secret, but now, she had to decide who she wanted to be. Tamar had finally spoken. Towanda had played her card. Evelyn had been exposed. But nothing could undo the years stolen, the birthdays missed, the milestones denied. All they had left now was healing, or the continued unraveling of everything they once called love. This isn't just a story, it's a warning. Secrets kept in the dark don't disappear. They ferment, they rot, and they erupt when you least expect it. Tamar thought silence was protection. Towanda thought exposure was justice. Evelyn thought control was safety. But the truth? The truth had a mind of its own, and it exploded at the feet of the one person who never had a choice. Ashlee. If you felt this deep in your spirit, drop a 4 Ashlee in the comments. She deserves love, not legacy drama. Share this video if you've ever been forced to carry a truth that wasn't yours to begin with. And if you want more untold, unfiltered, and unapologetic celebrity family drama, hit like, smash, subscribe, and ring that bell for the next bombshell we're breaking. Number Tamar Braxton. Number Towanda Braxton. Number DNA reports. Number Ashlee Braxton truth. Number Braxton family secrets. Number Black family drama. Number Tamarese the mother. Number justice for Ashlee.